Yeah, okay, so there's a couple of things here. One is, oh god, I hate when my hair looks like this. It looks like I look like a guy. But all right, so anyway, my point is that in Bayside, where I live and where I was born, which is Bayside, I guess it's a side of a story, the only one. Since we're in to New York, Tiny Tim, 34th Miracle on 34th Street is what we were praying for when the only good saltwater crocodile was being born on 43rd Avenue in the numerics being reversed. And in Bayside, New York, that was up for debate as to how the life was going to pan out in the time that I own, because I told you it's to New York, so they stop denying shit and they start following the right plan. And 29, if he's going to New York with Louis Cataruza, guess who? Louis Nicholas Francis de Royal, whatever. Born in Italy. Yeah, he sure was. Venezia. The Repubblica di Venezia il Cadore. I don't know. There's like, I can't. I'm not in Stati. I'm in Stati Uniti. I'm not in. And I have no access to anybody who speaks proper Italian. So, even my father doesn't even know Italian. Though I find tonight he did mention in some paid advertisement about Pew. I asked him about mas, being mas, give me more, more, more. What is it in Italian, Dad? And he's like, oh, it's Pew. I was like, really? How do you spell that? I'm like, P-E-W, like the company that Claudia works for? And he's like, no, it's P-I-U. And I'm like, interesting. So it's pi, P-I, and then it's a unit. Right, and it's more. And then he's like, actually, it's D-Pew. And I'm like, okay, so it's D apostrophe or D-E? And he's like, Nicole, I really don't know. I'm like, yeah, I knew I could only get so far with that one. Okay, I said, and there was like, look it up. And I was like, yeah, I thought I'd try the old-fashioned way and ask the adult in the room that was born before me that actually was born in Italy. But, hey, look at me looking at the old-fashioned way rather than having to look on Google and whatever. So, point being, his name is Louis Francis, born as Tiny Tim in New York on 43rd Avenue, and where he brought home his miracle on 43rd Avenue in time, where she just wanted one saltwater toothbrush man and one paintbrush that she was born for. And that part did happen, so I don't get where everyone else in the world lost their part. And we know where they are, who they are, we know what happened before, we know we don't want our children to buy into some nuclear waste program and technology that they already sold to the man on the moon. And, like, how blind are you? Are you blind as a bat? Yeah, Linda says that a whole lot. What does that really mean? B-L-I-N-D-A-S-B-A-T. Is she talking a Russian bat? She talking about in America, in Western culture and society and civilization, they are dumb as bricks? Oh, Jason got a brick thrown through his window. Nobody knew how that happened. Me neither. I mean, I didn't call anybody and ask for any favors, but I wasn't upset about it either. Just saying. He's a detective in Blue Jays that steal other people's children. Okay, so anyway, yeah, it is a very big Jewish community. Thank you for that. Alright, so, where are we in this story? Oh, right, so Francis lives so basic. Why do you keep people at bay? I'm just curious. Why, if you have a god in a bay unit, why would you keep her at bay and not inform her and speak to her and hold her and, like, give her what she needs, which is saltwater toothbrush and a man that she really looks like and loves. And it's in your paperwork before they're born. So who's holding back? Why would you go with nuclear waste before? Right, there's a whole lot of asses. Not a whole lot of assets. There's one asset in the United States of America and in the state of New York. Why are you allowing something to play a Monopoly game you didn't know existed, you found out about, and then were confused about, we explained it to you, and then you joined in the wrong Monopoly because some people got their language and words wrong, even if they were highly educated by the mental asylum. And the people in America are completely fucking stupid. Yeah, where's that word monopoly come from? I'm just curious. I know there was a board game, B-O-A-R-D. Yeah, there is a higher CEO, B-O-A-R-D, in play that your children are not part of Procter and Gamble, so they're not upper echelon. I'm sure they totally were stunted in their growth. STUNTED. So my father in base, yeah, so why do you keep KEEPPEOPLEATBAY? Why would you keep a god at bay? I never had a good answer for that. Never understood why you would do it in actual real life, because that's what you've done. I did meet somebody on in Bayside. There is a road, ROAD, or avenue, I don't know, streets, avenues, roads, they're all the same to me. It doesn't really fucking matter. So it's whatever, it's paved, it's asphalt, yeah, whose fault? It's asphalt. Okay, so there's a Francis Lewis Boulevard. Oh my god, FRANCAIS, Lewis, LEWIS, spelled differently than my Lou, being the bathroom dad of LOUIS. But his middle name is Francis, also spelled, I think, similar. And it's Boulevard, BLVD for the abbreviation, ABBREVATION. And it is something that is cruised, CRUZIED, by local teenagers, LOCALTEENAGERS. My cousin Lynette Malak, who is Marie, looks like the Kaiser of Germany in World War II. Her mother, Marie Gunder, also a Mariah McClurg official. Officially, like, off iCal. Yeah, she was one of the children off iCal. So is my uncle Tom. I don't know if that has to do with Tom, Dick, and Harry, because we only have a Tom. We don't have a Richard, we don't have a Dick, we don't have a Harry anywhere in our family. That's part of the I will steal everybody's future family and sell you all a bill of shitty-esque goods. Right. So, wrong goods. So then we have, let's see, Tom, Dick, yeah, they had 10 kids, and Mariah McClurg, an Iowa farmer, FARMER, these really are, and he had patriotic status because they had a zip code, ZIPCODE. He had a father who opened the refrigerator and it exploded in his face and he lost his voice and he couldn't speak after that. I know my mom mentions these random things, like these paid advertisements of pearls of wisdom, and I'm like, oh, I should mention that and document that for U.S. justice system somewhere, or royal courtier. I don't know what the hell to call you all, keeping me at bay for this long and expecting me to just guess the answers and give them to you, as if you didn't have, like, curious, IRS, I know it opened in, like, the 1940s. Anybody know what the Internal Revenue Source was? SOURCE? Where did they source the code from, CODE, of the system of IR, which is mirror imaged, but slightly different, of the Royal Inquiry, of the same exact problem we got going on in Kingdom, but another way to explain it to the poor forgotten children of America, who's going to be to New York to Tiny Tim, wondering what the hell the God Miracle is doing in helping them, while she herself is being abused by not only the U.S. citizens that took part in the wrong plan generations before, but now the royal, witch in a hat. Yeah, witch, yeah, the one that claimed the coroner's plan, and we had to name aptly, so this way they couldn't deny it any further when God wound up in New York in the fucking dirt, wanting a toothbrush with some salt and a really handsome man that would have been fine. He was independently wealthy, nobody needed to ask questions, and together they are one whole pie together. Right, and nobody needed to know what kind of system or system they came from. And they could have just gone on their merry way in quiet, happy bliss. But no, instead we have to have bioterrorism, continue the selling nuclear waste products to new generations, hoping they forget, fucking with God her entire fucking life, and putting her into situations that now she has to try to explain to people who either took part in the wrong plan or didn't believe and then paid to have her hurt because they misunderstood. It's like, I mean, the blind leading the blind? Yeah, I'd say I'm sitting in a blind. There's ducks on the wall. There's a whole lot of Britain bands around my mom's doorway. My mom's exchanging neon clothing with an African-American girl at some welfare camp because her mom can't afford anything, but somebody gave them this service, so she went off, and there were 3 Lindas in one cabin. Go figure. I mean, like, these are, like, real things, and I'm going, so which one of the Lindas did we give stuff to? Like, which way are we moving the ball? The nuclear ball. Oh, it went to the African-American! Look at that! She gave it to Linda! The African-American gave the nuclear waste plant to my mother, because they were both on welfare, black and white, in 1948, year of the rat birth. And then the African who gave my mom the neon nuclear plan in her lifetime to keep her stupid and dumb, but make the African American more smart and more everything in my lifetime to fuck with me completely. Oh, it is like the Monopoly game from holy hell. 'Cause I'm the holy living in your fucking painted hell. Thank you for welcoming me back to Earth. It is amazing what you've done with the fucking place. And with yourselves. And then how you explain it to one another and hide from one another and completely disregard everything that needs to be done. So, we have Francis Lewis, right? Teenagers, they cruise on Francis Lewis Boulevard trying to pick up other teenagers in some kind of like weird whatever. There was Lynette Malak, right? The Kaiser of a different era. Relative of some sort by visage genetics, they're somehow related. She, right, had a father, right, he was Entenmann's mechanic of some sort, who the hell knows, who remembers. So he would get Drake's cakes and things and bring them home, right. Marie had a spinny, it was a Lazy Susan, right, it spins, and she'd get every kind of sugary cereal I wasn't allowed to have as a kid. And I would go, if I slept over, I'd get tuna fish with real mayo on white bread. That was unheard of. And soda, which was, I think, ginger ale. These were big things back then. Because I only got sugar-less cereal and a whole lot of things that really, that's why I don't like eating. But anyway, let's see. All right, so she took me to go visit Neil, who is, right, she married Steve, but whatever, she had a fling with Neil, Neil, who had a friend who wanted her to meet at some gas station on Franny Lou one night, so we did. She was driving. We were drinking Zima, Z-I-M-A. It was actually really good. It's like a wine cooler. But anyway, we met, somebody showed up. They heard about me. They wanted to meet me. I don't know. It was weird. But he was a very handsome guy. He was older. And he said, just remember, because you're somebody really special. Like, you're like an angel. Right, my name is Joseph, so as long as it's not Mary, your name's not Mary, right? You have no Mary? I'm like, well, I got Mary's, and I think I have Mama Marie, but... Right, yeah, so Mary, Marie, kind of the same, right? We have an Aunt Mary on Mom's side. But anyway, so he was like, right, so I just don't want to get confused with this Jesus thing, because you're like the one who has the Immaculate Conception. Like, my people already know that. I don't know why, you know, and I was having even that moment, it was like, it was like whizzing by. I'm trying to, and he's like, well, see, now my generation, like, what do you consider me? And I'm like, I don't know, like, really handsome stranger. What more do you want me to say? I was like, I like your attitude, like your vigor, like VINVOGAR, something along those lines. And he's like, what if I told you I'm like Ralph Macchio to you? And I'm like, Ralph Macchio? Who's Ralph Macchio? He's like, come on. He's like, you never saw The Karate Kid? And I'm like, oh, I might have. I said, actually, no, is that his name? You got me. Like, I'm not really too good with names, and I don't like remembering people's names. So, right, he's like, right, I know that. He's like, that's why I mentioned the Jesus thing with Mary and Joseph, right? And he's like, and something about the Karate Kid, because it's like Ralph Macchio, like, it's going to be the next Macchio. And I'm like, yeah, okay. That is a Korean reference with martial arts of the wrong martial completely. That is MARTIALARTS that don't belong in America. But whatever, if Joseph Carolla, who is English, handsome English, not like what you got sitting in the castle right now, which, I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. But Joseph Carollo is very handsome in the face and in his stature and in his vibe. And he claims that he's part Russian, part English, part German. Good. I take him at face value. That's who he is. But I would call him Macho, Moucho. That's what I would call Joe. But I would not call him Ralph Macchio. I would never call anybody Ralph. I'm sorry. That is like, barf. Yeah. Barff. Yeah, that's what Ralph reminds me of. Sorry. So here we are. Ralph Macchio, right? That's a Korean tie. Oh, and oddly enough, meeting a Joe in Starbucks years later, grew up in Bayside, if he says so, and he is now married to a Korean out of the blue, out of some blue jay, I am sure, who likes chocolate chip cookies, bakes them for him. Really strange story. Right, but I gave him a library card from Alexandria, so him and I are good on the private side. So let's see, and she's the woman that he married has some husband in Korea that's really got a lot of money, and she apparently wanted citizenship in America. I don't know why you would tie Joe Carollo into that plot of everybody's going to die in Korea, especially South Korea, after what you did to me. And now roping my friend Joe, who is macho, but not a Ralph Macchio. So, let's see, any more ties on the bay end of holding me at bay with never really giving me any clue, or, small clues, but then never really, making sense at any gate. Gate. There is more, but now I'm having trouble with what I wanted to say. Alright, I'm gonna go with that one and keep this one short until I can re-establish where I was going, because now I am off track.